Rose questioned Dream and Lucienne on her brother's whereabouts after hearing the two of them speak his name. Dream tells her that he doesn't know his location. Dream instructs Rose to continue looking for her brother in the waking world, where Matthew would be watching over her. While she is sleeping, the two of them would go looking for her brother together in her dreams. Galt appears to Jed in his dream as his mother to gain his trust. Jed took up the superhero alias the Sandman. On his mission, Jed was attacked by a group of rats from the sewer before awakening. Rose prints out Jed's photo to find him. She also called Unity to share with her that Jed's foster parents were friends of her dad. Unity reveals that a journalist interviewing her, she is being interviewed by the Corinthian. Rose joins the others for breakfast, where she gives posters to her friends. Lita dreams with Hector, in which he encourages her to go out and live her life. Lita wants to live with him in dreams, but they both know that eventually, she'd have to wake up. Dream remains troubles that how she was able to wander into his throne room. Lucienne tells him the day you was imprisoned, people all over the world fell asleep and couldn't wake up. Unity was the sole survivor of the sleepy sickness. Unity gave birth in her sleep and Rose is her granddaughter. Dream's absence caused the birth of a vortex, which would be impossible. Lita visited Ms. Rubio on Rose's behalf. She asks her to visit Jed's foster family only to know if he is fine. Rose and Hal distribute posters and ask people about Jed. Rose took this opportunity alone to approach Matthew, confirming that the dream she had last night was real. Corinthian approaches Hal, and learns from him that Rose is looking for her brother. Ms. Rubio reaches Barnaby's house to see Jed. Barnaby reveals they are a happy family and Jed has a sticky note for Rubio. Before leaving, Jed hugs Rubio, dropping the note in her bag, asking for help. After killing Ms. Rubio and cutting out her eyes, Corinthian proceeded to read Jed's case file. Rose went to sleep and just like the night before, she began dreamwalking. She finds Hal performing for himself, before moving into Lita's dream and stumbling upon her and Hector having sex. Rose found her way into Chantal's dream and onto the street outside, where Barbie and Ken were in the middle of a fight. Rose again asked Dream what was a dream vortex and its purpose. All Dream knew for certain was that a vortex possessed the power to dream or destroy entire worlds. Rose and Dream travel into Jed's dream and find him. Dream revealed Galt's true appearance, revealing that she was a shape-shifting nightmare. Morpheus ended the dream. Hector attempted to convince Lita to stay with him. Lita kissed Hector and then she looked down and realized she was pregnant. Rose woke up from her sleep and went searching for Barnaby and Clarice, getting an exact match and their home address online. She then knocked on the door to inform Lita that she found Jed, but by the time Lita exited the restroom, Rose was gone, but her baby bump was not, as Lita remained pregnant outside of her dream. Jed listened from the cellar as noise and commotion overtook the house. Then, suddenly, the basement door opened. Galt informed Dream of the torturous life Jed lived in the waking world. Dream accused Galt of abusing the child's suffering to build a dream she could rule. Dream sentenced her to a few thousand years in the darkness. Lucienne, however, felt her punishment was unjust. Dream was grateful that Lucienne stepped up in his absence. He reminded her that he was back and that she could return to the library. Jed worked up the courage to head upstairs. Jed was approached by the Corinthian, claiming that Rose sent him. Rose arrived at the Farrells, learning from an officer on the scene that her brother wasn't there and that they only discovered 2 adult victims. Jed asked Corinthian how he knew Rose, to which he replied that he didn't and that his sister had been putting up help posters. Rose informed Lita of her dreams and how she dreamt of finding Jed. Lita believed Rose because she also had a dream where she was with Hector. And when she woke up, she was still pregnant. Matthew reported back to Lucienne that Lita was pregnant from a dream, meaning Rose was weakening the walls between realms. Lucienne instructed Matthew to report any updates exclusively to Dream. Rose then got a call from the Corinthian, who passed the phone to Jed, who revealed that they were at the Royal Empire Hotel in Georgia. The Corinthian and Jed entered the hotel for the serial killer convention. He was approached by Nimrod and the Good Doctor, who advised him to keep Jed away from the convention areas. As Rose prepared to leave for her trip to pick up Jed, she received a visit from Gilbert. Gilbert volunteered to join her on the trip. On the road to Georgia, Rose called Unity to inform her that she was on the way to pick up Jed. Thrilled that everything was coming together, she offered to have them both flown out to her. Rose falls asleep and in a dream, Rose comes across Lita, who expressed having been in the dreaming for months despite it only being a couple of hours in the waking world. Rose and Lita return to her home to find Dream awaiting their return along with Hector. Morpheus wanted them to leave because a ghost could not escape his fate by hiding in the dreaming, nor could a living human being escape their grief there. Dream returned Hector to his appointed place before informing Lita that he would allow her to keep the baby. One day, he would come for it. Rose awakens and gets a call from Lita, who is emotionally distressed over Hector's loss. Rose and Gilbert arrive at the hotel and start finding Jed. Gilbert realized they were at a serial killer's convention. Gilbert left a message at the front desk for Rose before fleeing the hotel. Dream found Lucienne in the library to admit that she was right about the vortex being the source of the disturbances. Fiddler's Green, who in actuality was Gilbert, returned to the dreaming and apologized to Morpheus for having left. Without Dream, he was curious. Life as a human contained substance that he never even imagined, which is why he returned, because the Corinthian was murdering them. The Corinthian led Philip into a secluded area of the hotel, where he was confronted by Nimrod and the good doctor. The three of them proceeded to kill Philip until being interrupted by Jed, who Corinthian pursued. Rose found Jed in the hallway with Funland. Jed elbowed him and escaped with Rose, though Funland proceeded to chase after them and cornered them at the end of the hall, where he was then stabbed in the back and killed by the Corinthian. The Corinthian assured Rose that he meant to protect her from Morpheus. Corinthian also revealed to Rose that Dream sought to kill her. He wanted to make her the center of the dreaming, thus leaving Morpheus powerless. The Corinthian took the stage to give his keynote address to the collectors in attendance. Dream himself arrived, disappointed in the Corinthian. He was Dream's masterpiece, a dark mirror made to reflect everything humanity. Corinthian refused to go back, stabbing Dream in his hand. Much to Dream's surprise, he bled and felt pain. Morpheus found Rose in this collective dream and instructed her to wake up, though the Corinthian tried to encourage her to take over the dreaming instead. Dream admitted that he did intend to kill Rose, but only because when a vortex brought down the walls between dreams, everything and everyone would die. It had happened before. Rose placed the walls back up between everyone's dreams before waking up. Dream and the Corinthian stood before each other. Dream turned Corinthian into ash, leaving nothing behind but a fragile, small skull. Dream's punishment to the serial killers was for them to know exactly how craven, selfish, and monstrous they were, subjected to feel the pain of those they had slaughtered. Rose and Jed arrived at the hospital sometime after, where Hal asked if Rose knew Lita was pregnant. Rather than answering, she introduced everyone to Jed. Rose sees Lita and reveals that Dream intended to kill her whilst she slept, because if he didn't, the entire world would die. Lita argued that if Rose had the power to destroy the world, then she had the power to end Dream. That night, Rose searched for Morpheus in her sleep, during which point she unintentionally brought down the walls between Hal, Barbie, Ken, Chantal, and Zelda's dreams. From this, a large vortex formed in the ground below, consuming each of them, along with Jed, until no one remained but Rose and Dream. Dream explained that death was not always such a bad thing. Gilbert interrupted. He offered in exchange for roses, but as Dream explained, that was not possible. Fiddler's Green wasn't a person, but rather a place, a large green meadow. Rose had accepted her fate and was prepared to die until Unity and Lucienne intervened. According to the book of Unity's life, she was meant to be the vortex, but because Morpheus was imprisoned. Unity then mentioned how she met a golden-eyed man, with whom she conceived a child many years ago. In this, Dream realizes he has been betrayed by Desire. Unity, who took her role as vortex and died in Rose's place. After Rose awakened from her sleep, and she and Jed went to the hospital to visit Lita, who gave birth to a baby boy. Dream visits Desire. Should Desire ever make another play against Dream again, he threatens to deal with him accordingly. However, Desire didn't appear fearful. Lucienne joined Dream on the shores of the dreaming as he created new dreams. Dream brought back Galt as a dream, and was given a set of wings. Dream asked Lucienne to take care of the palace while he worked. In hell, Lucifer received an unexpected visit from Lord Azazel. They wished to invade the dreaming, but only at Lucifer's behest. From there, they intended to also take over the waking world and even the Silver City. The Grey Cat takes Kitten Tabby and tends to see the Siamese cat. Along the way, they were joined by many other cats, who all gathered in the cemetery, where Siamese delivered a message. She was not always a stray cat. She once lived among humans. During this time, the Siamese had a lover. She gave birth to kittens. However, her owner took her kittens away in a knapsack bag and threw them into the river. Siamese dreams and goes to see the king of cats. Dream approached and encouraged Siamese to look into his eyes, and in his eyes, she saw the truth. Many seasons ago, cats ruled the world, she claimed. They were larger and everything was made for them. But then, one of the humans rose amongst them, inspired by a dream. Eventually, everything changed. The humans took control and cats became pets. That was her soul message, which she would repeat until the day she died or until 1,000 cats believed her words and dreamed. In August 2018, Richard Maddock, a writer, imprisoned Greek goddess Calliope. She hoped he would set her free, which he assured her he would, but first, he needed her help to help him write one book. Calliope prayed to the fates to help her escape her imprisonment. They appeared before her, but unfortunately, they could not help. Only the Dream King and Calliope were close at one point, though they did not part on the best of terms, even though she did bear his child. She calls Dream to help her but is apprehended by Richard. Dream received Calliope's message and decided to visit her. The next day, Richard returned home to find Morpheus waiting for him. He requested that Richard set Calliope free. Richard continued life as usual, attending a book reading, where he briefly saw Morpheus in the crowd, which left him in complete disarray and unable to fathom a single coherent story before fleeing the classroom. Nora and Sophia followed him into the stairwell, where he had written on the wall with his blood. The ideas in his head were forming too quickly and Richard instructed Nora to first go to his house and free Calliope. Nora went over to Richard's house and headed upstairs, where she unlocked Calliope's door. Calliope appeared, in disbelief that she was finally free, thanking Dream for his help. Calliope asked if she could visit Morpheus in the dream realm. One day perhaps, he responded, but Dream wasn't quite ready yet. Thanks for watching and make sure to press the subscribe button for more amazing videos.